Now, due to the widespread flooding across the country over the past few days, we're going to check in with the communications manager at the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Mr. Naasir Mohammed, to get an idea of relief efforts on the ground and any updates on the situation. Naasir, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Hi. Hi, good morning. Good morning to everyone. How are you all?
Good, good. Not too bad at all. How are you? Hope you're staying dry.
Yes, we are as much as we can.
Right.
Although given the situation, it's not a luxury at this point in time. It is a luxury at this point in
At
time.
this point in time. I understand.
Yeah.
Just to give us some context, Naasir, can you give us an update on the incident report in terms of how many floodings we've had, how many landslides, that sort of thing?
Correct. So, I mean, as you would have seen coming out of the ministry, we would have had three types of reporting. It would have been the incident summary report, we would have had the river level advisory, and we would have the reported river level advisory. Now, I just want to differentiate both before I get into the incident summary. The reported river levels are those based on eyewitnesses, and the river level advisory comes from the monitoring, as in the sensors that we have placed in the different rivers. The incident summary, the last one we would have sent out, would have just been shortly after 9 p.m. last night. We are going to put out one at 8 a.m. this morning, where we have over 89 flooding reports in Chaguanas Borough Corporation, Cuva Tabaqui Telparo, Mayaro Rio Claro, Pinal Debe, etc. We also seen reports coming in for fallen trees. We have 62 landslides reported, one damaged roof due to high winds, and over 12 affected structures. Now, the thing is that us at the ministry, we get our reports from the DMUs, the disaster management units throughout the 14 regional corporations. So with that, we normally put it in, but those who contact the police and fire, etc., we also get reports from that. So our reports are based on data coming in from these different agencies, and we share them as frequent as we can.
Yeah. I know we would have seen, Naasir, there was a major landslide that happened in Carapo. We're seeing one on the screen now. I believe this one is also in Belmont. I mean, how have relief efforts been going on the ground? I mean, have people been rescued from these places? What can we say at this point in time?
So, I mean, once reports come in terms of residents reporting to their DMUs and or the police, what we would do is that we would allocate the relevant agencies to assist. So if it's beyond the disaster management unit of the Ministry of Works will be contacted, the police, the fire services, if we have to do tree cutting to move the debris out of the way to make the road accessible for persons. So in this case and every other case where we have some sort of disaster or incident reported, we have a pool of agencies, as the ministers would have indicated on yesterday's press conference, is that we have a pool of resources and they will be deployed accordingly.
Right. Now, I know that you mentioned that you will get the reports from people who make reports, also from the fire officials and that sort of thing. So there is possibly more landslips or more incidents that people may have not reported. Then is it that the ministry is going out in vehicles, let's say to some of the rural areas, just to check to see what's going on in those districts?
Right. So what we at the ministry have, we have our 14 disaster management units, and we also have a regional coordination unit. The regional coordination unit is working in tandem with the disaster management. So what they have been doing is that they've been doing the ancillary monitoring of the situation. So where there are isolated events of landslides or fallen trees and all these other things, they're swooping in because, I mean, it's a nationwide situation where we have a lot of resources that we've deployed. So we're trying to have some sort of alternative monitoring situation where we can go and assist with those that we can.
Yeah. And in terms of the number of people who have been rescued thus far, because we saw the unfortunate incident in Valsain where, people had to be rescued from their homes in dinghies. Can you say how many people have been rescued? And also, are the shelters available in all districts or only certain districts?
The shelters are activated based on requests and reports through the DMUs. So once that is done via the reports, then it will be triggered in terms of activation. But I think
Right.
they already, different regional corporations actually put up on their social media the different shelters that are available nearby if need be. And I know we evacuated persons down in that area, as you mentioned. I think it was over about 4 families. We have, as of now, the Caroni Bamboo, number 2, Valsin South. Those are the evacuations. We have Plumitam and Mova. We have 1 pound that we evacuated there. So
Wow.
it's just being aware of the resources that are available to you. The hotlines are there. We are encouraging all persons if affected, call the hotlines. Call the TTPS, call the fire service, depends on what your situation is, and then you can be rescued, and the problem can be remedied as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Naasir, are you still seeing people coming to the different regional corporations to collect, for example, sandbags and stuff? I mean, do you think it's gone beyond that now, or can people still visit the regional
No,
corporation for certain things?
they, they can. I mean, in terms of sandbags alone, Penal Day Bay yesterday, as of 9 p.m., we distributed 635. Mattresses we have available, as well as tarpaulins, food hampers, cleaning agents, down to bleach and all these other things. We are making it available. So it's not you can it's still available. You can still request it from your disaster management units.
Yeah. And in terms of the elderly homes, because I haven't been hearing much about the senior citizen homes, are they okay? Have people been checking in with them just to make sure that they are safe?
We have a checklist of those institutions that might be overlooked in certain situations, that they do check in. I think that's where the regional coordinator goes to ensure that places are just make sure that they're fine. But I just want to, reinstate the importance of avoiding active floodwaters. We are still on orange alert for the riverine alert issued by the Met Office. While we might take a chance and see no rain coming down, and we might take a chance to cross the waters, we just want to encourage all persons to avoid active floodwaters, because, 3 inches of water can move a vehicle. So we need to encourage everybody to just stay out of active floodwaters as much as you can.
Yeah. And just to remind us, Naasir, can you just mention some of the harder hit areas? Because I know Minister Alwari would have said yesterday, I think it was 11 out of 14 corporations were affected by this. So we're seeing places like Valsay, we're seeing places in Salt. Any other areas would have been really, really adversely affected as a result of the weather?
So we have Arima. Arima would have definitely been affected. We have so the affected. We have 2 types of issues: flooding, and we have landslides, and damage to the roads. So in total, it would be just over 10 corporations being affected. But the places that we saw hit really hard with the flooding would have been Valsay, Arima. We have some in Penal Debe, Shogunas, Couva, and so we just want to get all the information as much as possible, see what sort of relief that has to be brought to affected persons, and see how best we could pool our resources and then provide relief.
And finally, can you just confirm we haven't lost a life thus far? Everybody has been safe and rescued?
So far, the reports, thank the Almighty, have been in our favor in terms of not losing any lives.
Okay, good. Well, Naasir, thank you so much.
Right?
I know that we're going to get an update as well from the ministry throughout the day, but thank you for coming in this morning and just giving us some updates on the situation.
Not a problem. Tune in on our social media. It's at RDLGTT on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thank you so much. And that was Communications Manager at the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Mr. Naasir Mohammed, just giving us an update on flood relief efforts on the ground and what is taking place, especially in those hard-hit areas.